So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, any time of the day you're watching this broadcast. So today I want us to start with the introduction to Python. And before you can analyze data with Python, you need to know some basic programming. And those basic concepts is what we're going to be discussing in this lecture. So the basic concept include program flow, what's a computer program, what are the different types of iteration you have, what is a function, you understand? So we're going to just discuss them and so that you have that basic concept, because trust me, for you to be able to analyze data with Python, you know how to code. At least you know how to do some basic coding with Python. So you might not be able to use Python to develop application, but at least for you to do data wrangling, you need to know some basic things about Python. So we're going to start by just letting you know that Python on its own is a programming language that is used for both data science and also for application development. So for you to be able to use Python for data science, you also need to import some modules that will make Python to be able to work effectively with data. So for us to do that, the basic things we need to first import is just the matplotlib, the Seaborn, and maybe later we'll start doing data wrangling. We'll have to import NumPy and pandas. But basically, for this workbook to run effectively, we just import and run this. So this is all we need to run. So just run this, and this has run a set effectively. So I also need to run exceptions. So we go into the program flow. What is a computer program? A computer program is a set of instructions. You understand? It's a set of instructions that is given to a computer system. And before you give it to that computer system, you have to write it in a language that the computer will understand. So that language, of course, computer itself understands binary, which is zeros and one. So there is a compiler that sits between your programming language and the computer system itself. So that converts whatever you're coding into a language that the computer will understand. So the computer interprets the language and gives you an output. So for example, if I want to do 1 + 1, this will automatically give me, so let me clear all outputs. So for you to perform any operation, if I want to run this, so what I would do is to just do 1 + 1. So we know ordinarily that results should be true, right? So you just Control Enter. So you click on this. While on the cell, you can just click on Run. So another way to do that is to just do Control Enter. That's the shortcut for you to run that. And we know that 2 + 2 × 3.5 will give you 7.0. And basically, we also know that 1 plus 1 will give you 2, and 2 times 3.5 will give you 7.0. So, but if I run this program now, I will only have 7.0. So I'm going to explain after I have run it. So let me run this. So I'm having 7.0. Why am I having 7.0? Computer program will return the last output. So this has been calculated. This has also been calculated. The last computation is what the computer will return for you. So it has computed the addition of 1 and 2, and has also computed the multiplication of 2 and 3.5. But the result, what is going to send to you as an output, is the last computation. So that is why it is very important sometimes to assign your outputs to a variable so that you can reuse them. So this takes us to the difference between output and printing. So for example, when we executed this, it gave us an output. So it just gave us the result. So we're not printing the result on screen. So, but when we use the print statement, so the print statement will display the result on the screen for us. So the print statement will display the result on the screen. So you remember that when we executed this, only the last line of code was displayed. The last line of code was displayed. But if you want to repeat intermediate results, for example, this result, you want this result to be displayed, you also want to repeat, or you want to report this same result. So what you will do is to use a print statement. So a print statement will give you all the results. Assuming I have more than this, even if I have to add another one, we print 3 times 7 or 3 times 9, of course, that will also be printed. So this 3 is going to be printed. So you see that the 3 has been printed. So different from if we remove the print statement, what will be executed here is just going to be this last item. So the programming, the package I'm using is Anaconda. It's free, it's open source. You can download it to run all of this code. So let's go further. Sometimes you want your program to be explanatory. So you want to, sometimes you've written a program. There's that tendency that you forgot what you have done. There's that probability that you are not going to remember some things you've done. So it's best to impute some steps. So you have to put comments to let you remember, or to let your user, the user of your program, to remember the steps you've taken, or to put comments for better explanation. So if you want to explain things to people later, or you want people to just take your code and read it and be able to digest it, so you put comment, and those comments are not executed when you run your program. So for example, for you to start a comment, you need to use this hash symbol. This symbol will initiate a comment. So because this is a comment, it will not be executed during when I run this program. So for example, if I print this, it's going to print this test. You can see this test. So it's going to print this test and also print the addition of 1 and 2. So it's going to say 1 plus 1 is 2. So this test will be printed in conjunction with this computation. So it will also print all done. All done is a test. So whenever you want to print a test, you use this and this quotation. So let me run this quickly. So you can see 1 plus 1 is 2, all done. This has not been executed because it's a comment. Is that clear? So that takes us to what a variable is. A variable is just a place, It's what you use to store information in memory. So you need to store this information in the computer memory. But for you to be able to store it in the computer memory, you need to assign it to a variable. So in assigning it to a variable, for example, 2, which is the result of this computation, will be assigned to a variable called first result. The essence of assigning computation to variable is just because it's easier for you to reuse those computations. Can you see that in the second line of code, first result has been reused? So here, I don't need to put 2. I don't need to write in 2 here anymore. I can call on the result of this computation to also complete this computation. So I'm calling on this result to complete the next computation. So you know that. So the result of this has been used in subsequent computation. So the next computation is actually to compute the final result, which is the multiplication of the first result, 3.5. So if I execute this and print out this, so at the end of the day, I should have what the final result is and the printing of the first result, of the final result as well. So let's execute this. So you see, so I know that final result is what is this, and you know that in the line of program, the last line is executed. Because this was not printed out, this, the result of the first result multiplied by the second result and multiplied by 3.5 has been also be assigned to a variable. And this is what we call variable in computer programming. So variable holds your output, your computation output is stored in variable. So this is pointing to final results. So if you assign this, if you assign another variable to final result, of course, it's going to override whatever you have assigned to the previous variable. So let's take this discussion further and let's know the kind of things that variable can hold. Variable can be used to store a variety of type of information. So let's see some basic type of information. So for example, it can store a string. We call this a string. It can store an integer number. It can store a float, and it can store a boolean. So I say, this is my name, and my age is 33. My favorite number is 2.718, and I have a dog. If has a dog is true, of course. Then if I run this, of course, this information, this is going to be stored as my name. This is going to be stored as my age. This is going to be stored as my favorite number. And this is going to be stored as, do I have a dog? True or false? True. So if I need to print out all of this, I can as well just print them out. So if I comment out all of this, let me just comment them out so you can see the implication of something. Let me just demonstrate something to you. I'll try to comment this out. And I just type in here, I just type in my, so use the tab to complete statement. So if you want to quickly write some things and you want to quickly complete it, you can just use the tab, write part of it and use the tab to complete it. So if I execute this, so what do you have? You have John. The reason being that this is my name. I just executed my name. But because my name has been assigned John, so it's going to give me John as the output for my name. Because what is stored as my name is John. If I change this one, this my name to Jacob, and let's run this, it's turned to Jacob, because this has been what is stored as my name has changed to Jacob. So let me delete this and let's run this. But for me to print out, so let me just undo. So if I want to print out my name, I can just simply say print and put, I just want to write the text before that and say that my name is, so I put this and I call on my name. So is that clear? So I can just use this. So if I click on enter, arrow, so I need this here, I need a comma. So you see my name is Jacob. So I'm printing this, and as well I'm printing this. Is that clear? So I'm printing this and I'm printing this. So let's run that. So let me run all of this. So you see all of this, they're going to display it now. Z. Okay. All right. So if I run this, you'll see my name is Jacob. My age is 3. My favorite number. That's my favorite number. Then I also have, do I have a dog? Yes or no? So just for us to know the type of information stored in memory, we can use the type function to determine what kind of information is stored in memory. So what is stored as my name? Is it a text? Is it a boolean? What is stored as my age? Is it integer? What is stored as my favorite number? Is it a float? You understand? So what is stored as a dog? Is it a boolean? So let's execute this and see what we have. So you can see that the class of my name is a string. A string is just like a text. Then the class for my age is an integer. And the class for number, my favorite number, is a float. It's a floating number. So, and the class for has a dog is a boolean, which is true or false. Boolean number is true or false. A floating number, they are called floating number because the decimal number, this is the decimal place, can flow in such a way that you can use this same to represent a large number. So like, for example, you can represent this with a large number, maybe 3, and do a large number, this, you can see decimal position can flow from any point here. So you can use it to represent a large number like this, or a small number like this, or even a small number as small as maybe 0.0000000. You understand? So the decimal number can flow through the numbers that you have. That is why you call it a float. So is that clear? So you know the type and you know all of this. So the next thing is to do a bit of exercise. So what is this exercise? So what I would advise you to do is to quickly do this exercise. Define my name, my age, variable with value corresponding to your own name and age, and print them out. Use your name and age variable to print out how old you were or you'll be in 10 years. So what I would advise you to do is to just pause this video and quickly solve this. And after that, I'm going to show you my own solution. Okay, now onto my own solution. The first question there is that you should define your name and age. So I have used this to define my name and age. Is that clear? So, and the next thing is use my age variable to print out how old you'll be in 10 years. So I have used the dot format here. So I used my age variable because in 10 years, I will be my current age. So if my current age is 30, the addition of my current age plus 10 should give me my new age, which is 40, right? So whenever you use this dot format, which you call string interpolation, we call this string interpolation. So you can do a further research about this string interpolation. So string interpolation, so you can also do further reading on string interpolation. So you see, or you can see it here. So see how it is being used. So you might not get everything from this video, so I expect you to also do your own personal research on some things we mentioned here that you might not be properly covered. Is it clear? So let's go back to our program flow. So now I want to print out that in 10 years from now, I'll be what? This is just a placeholder. This will accept everything I put inside the format. So whatever I put inside my format here will be replaced here. So if this is going to compute and is going to result into like 40, and that 40 is going to be placed inside here because this is just something to accept the result of my format. So if I execute this, if I run this, you see what I have. I say in 10 years time, in 10 years from now, which is this, I will be 40 years old. 40, what you have inside this curly bracket is not the result of this dot format. So I can continue, I can even add more. I can now say that, but I can say, but in 5 years, comma, I will be, I put another curly bracket. So now I need to add another information to my format. So the next thing I will add is in 5 years, I'll be what? My age plus 5. So let me execute this. I think this should give me, if I run this, you can see, but in 5 years, I will be 35. So it takes this, insert it into the first curly bracket, takes the result of this second computation, insert into the second curly bracket. So the computation can continue like that. You understand? So we call string interpolation. So we're going to end this video here. In the next video, we'll be talking about functions. Thank you.